started at 194 and I was down to 177. And my goal initially, whenever I did the first intake and I was writing out vision statement and mission statement and goals, where do you want to be, I'd put down 170. And frankly, that was just kind of out of the hat because I couldn't even remember what 170 felt like. Mm-hmm. So I thought, that's a pretty big chunk, but it's not so much that it would take me forever to get there. And so maybe that's a good goal. And so I set that. So I'm about 7 pounds away from that when I start this journey on the contest. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I don't have that much weight to lose. I'm not going to win a contest, but I'm so competitive. I tell folks at our church, I'm beating you at stuff that you don't even know we're playing. I'm just competitive. And I thought that little competition, and I can play some head games with myself, and that'll be enough motivation to kind of get this final piece off. And so that's what started. Well, about 2 weeks into the contest, my son was diagnosed when he was born with an illness called cystic fibrosis. It affects the lungs and digestive, there's no cure, and it is something that qualifies him for Make-A-Wish, which is not what any parent wants to hear. But nonetheless, for him, from his perspective, as a 17-year-old now, he's going, that's the one good thing about CF is we get Make-A-Wish. And so we were planning to go to Hawaii, but then COVID derailed that. And the Make-A-Wish group has been incredible. We're so thankful for them. But they can't help the fact that COVID changed the travel arrangements, and he had been in the program long enough to where he was aging out, and so it just wasn't going to happen. And so he came downstairs, and I can remember seeing his face. And as a dad, it breaks your heart because he struggled so much for his whole life with this. And I remember him looking at me and him going, Dad, the one good thing about CF just got taken away from me. And I remember sitting there and looking at him, and all of a sudden, I don't know why, because I hadn't honestly really thought about the contest. The contest came into my mind, and I looked at him and I said, Grayson, we're about to make our own wish. We're about to make our own wish. We're going to win this contest. And so he committed to working out with me, which on a side note, for CF kids, they found that exercise, particularly weightlifting, is incredibly good for them. And they struggle with maintaining their body weight. And I took him actually to the doctor after we'd been lifting weights and following the program, and he had put on 15 pounds in 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Which was awesome. Like his doctors were like, what in the world? I go, Fit Fathers. I go, we're running the game Fit Fathers. Now, there was also some drugs that had changed, but that combination, but more than just the fitness, I began to watch his confidence rise. It's just in our camaraderie for us. One of the things for me with my son is we just had not connected. Like my older son and I, we both like cars. We both like basketball. We both like, we just have a lot of common interests. But with my middle son, with CF, we didn't have that. But he loves weightlifting, which is great. And he's got Eye of the Tiger. I mean, I love it. And I'm jealous because he's gaining on me. I mean, he's not going to beat Dad. He ain't going to beat Pops. I got old man strength. Like, he ain't going to beat me, but he's gaining. I'm staying the same, and he's gaining. And so that's been a wonderful part of the journey that just trickled kind of into our whole family. And so that became a motivation. And one of the things that he said to me as we were kind of nearing the end of the contest, because I really still didn't think I had lost enough weight for other guys that I saw that were just losing tons of weight. And I didn't really know the criteria for the judging. I was like, Grayson, I just don't want you to be disappointed in this whole thing. And he looked at me and he said, Dad, you've worked so hard. So he saw me. I mean, I was doing 3-a-days. I mean, I was walking, then play tennis, and then I'd lift weights. And a lot of times then I'd walk again at night. Like, he saw his dad busting it up at 5 a.m, going to the gym. And that translated into some really incredible bonding with my son that I don't know how to got that otherwise.
I think that's what, for me, when I hear that, like, that's Fit Father in a nutshell. You transformed, and by your example, you're able to bring your family along, and through the seeds of that, your son is able to blossom into his next chapter.